Lucas Raymond, baby, there you go, his first career NHL goal. And how fitting is this? The Swedish-born kid scores against the Swedish legend in Henrik Lundqvist. This comment here was featured in a few episodes ago. I missed it, but it made me laugh when I was reading some comments today. You know, Eric is furious somewhere thinking to himself, xTech used the power of video editing to land Barzell. You just love to see it. Woo! I hope you guys are ready to spend some money. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to your Quebec Nordiques franchise mode. In this episode, we are going to spend some money. Get your wallets out, get your credit card, get your cash money, because we are going to be spending some dough today on July 1st, 2020. Now, I asked you guys, what the hell should we do with our team? It looks pretty interesting if you look at our squad right now. It's not that great. We have a lot of holes on our team, and we have a lot of money, and that's what I like. We got cash, dollar bills, y'all. Cash rules everything around me, and we got a bunch of it. $39 million. Shout out to you if you got the Wu-Tang reference, but we got to spend some coin, and we got some people in the comments telling me to spend some coin. So right away, we're going to hop right into it, and we are going to make our first signing, and it's going to go all the way down here. He's not really a household name, but he's a Quebec-born kid, and that is Phillip Danault. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but we're going to go with Phillip Danault. He's a former Chicago Blackhawks draft pick, if I remember that correctly. There you go. Boom, hockey knowledge. He's actually a really good third-line center. I mean, if he can hit anywhere close to this 50 points on the third line, I'm going to be pumped. But I really like this kid. Phillip Danault obviously played in Montreal. Now he's going to come hang out in Quebec. He's getting the entire Montreal experience, but he's going to be a really good third-line center for us. So I think right away, we should sign him to a contract. Now, there is two teams interested. We might have to overpay a little bit. Aside from being a new team, being the new fresh kids on the block, there really isn't a whole lot that is enticing players to come to Quebec. So we are going to have to overpay a little bit. I know this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer him $4.5 million for 2 years. Now, I don't want to give him a ton of money, but 4.5 for an 84 overall guy who could maybe even jump up to the second line if things don't really work out with some potential other free agents. But I want to go to a comment here from Brandon Barenfeld. Now, he was the vice president of hockey operations for your Seattle Storm Bears. He was an assistant coach with your Saskatchewan Stags. Now, with the Quebec Nordiques, I brought him back. He's kind of taken a backseat role. On home game days, he's the beer guy in section 203. Aside from being the beer guy, he's also head of scouting and head of hockey operations for your Quebec Nordiques. So we're bringing Brandon back, and he's got an absolute novel of a comment. So I'm not going to read all of it, but he says the forward should look like this: Sammy Blais, Conrad Stastny, Matthew Barzell. Love that. Then we got Jaden Schwartz, Derek Stepan, and Evgeny Dadonov. He wants us to spend some cheddar in free agency. He also wants Grabner, Phillip Danault, and Hornquist. So we've already got Phillip Danault. And then he wants to go Patan, Iafallo, and Lucas Raymond. Also, defensively, Edler, Larson, McCabe, Fox, Niku Moore. Goalies, UC Saros, and Peter Mrazek. Now, he basically says, you know what, actually, I am going to read the entire comment. This guy's a smart hockey mind. Let's give him the recognition he deserves. You need a whole new second line. Stepan, Dadonov, and Schwartz would be the perfect for that role. Danault is perfect for a third line center. You can also switch him up to the second line if need be. That's exactly what I said earlier before I even read the comment. In fact, maybe even having him on that line instead of Stepan and moving Stepan down to the third line may not be a bad idea. You can try him out on both lines to see what works. Dadonov is a guy who can also play top line minutes if Blais isn't quite ready on that top line yet, which I like. Lucas Raymond is listed as a fourth liner. You don't want to underplay him, but you don't want to overplay him either. Generally, players under 80 that are listed as fourth liners don't grow if you do either of those two things. Not all the time, but most of the time. Iafallo is a good fourth liner because he's cheap and he's 80 overall. Maybe you can consider another fourth line left winger in place of Nick Patan. He also goes on to say that defensively, you just need one player. It's a top pair player, and it's Canucks legend Alex Edler. Fits the bill for now, as he and Larson are a nice Swedish connection. Oh, don't get me started about the Swedish connection. Lastly, Peter Mrazek is a must-sign backup. He's 83 overall. He's listed as a backup. He's only 28 years old and only wants 1.7 for the next 3 years. And there's no way you can pass that up. That is the ultimate bargain. That's why he's head of scouting. For all the players you should sign, try not to give them more than 3 years. Although someone like Danault, you might have to stretch the extra year, and that's okay. Boom, what a comment. We got other guys like Ben. He says you should sign Danault. It replaces Atkinson, and you don't have a solid right winger. So I think after Phillip Danault, we should go in and we should sign, where is he? Evgeny Danault. Now, he is a legitimate sniper, which I like. He's a really good 25, 60-point guy. I mean, he's only really had 2 years, like 2 really good years in Florida. He ended up going to Detroit, kind of had a shitty year, so he is looking to bounce back. Now, he's going to get top line minutes potentially, or if Sammy Blais needs that little extra time, we can move him up and down. Now, there's a lot of teams interested, so like I said, I might have to spend the extra little bit. We're going to go up to $6 million for 3 years, and that is a legitimate top 6 forward for us. He's going to be 34 when the contract's over. I would love to go 2 years, however, I don't think he's going to go for that. But if we maybe beef it up a little bit, there's like 7 other teams interested. So if we go 6.4, like I said, we have the cap space. It's only for 2 years. Let's see if we can ink Evgeny Danault to a contract. So there's 2 players, all right? So you can add Evgeny Danault, and you can also add Mr. Phillip Danault, hopefully, to those deals. I actually saw quite a bit of love for Ilya Kovalchuk, but he's 37 years old. He's going to want to win a Stanley Cup, all right? He needs to win a cup. He's not going to want to come to an expansion team, so we're going to say no, but we are going to say yes to Jaden Schwartz. Now, Jaden Schwartz isn't going to put up a ton of goals, more of an assist guy, but if he can be a 40 to 50 point guy, I'm super happy about that, especially if he can play with a guy like Evgeny Danault. I would be super pumped up if he gets 45 to 50 points on the second line. So I think we're going to go ahead and offer a contract to Jaden Schwartz. Now, our money's going to disappear pretty quick. We're going to go ahead 5.5 for 2 years, given a bunch of 2-year deals out here. 5.6 million bucks is a little bit more than he wants. Let's see if he's going to come to the squad. That's another player we can add. Now, Derek Stepan, I like him, but I'm not super sold. At 30 years old, he had a couple good years in Arizona. I mean, maybe giving Derek Stepan the second line minutes. I don't know. Out of everyone, I'm not super sold on Derek Stepan. But a line of Schwartz, Stepan, and Evgeny Danault, that might not be bad because Schwartz is what? He's a two-way forward, is that correct? No, he's actually a sniper. Okay, that's interesting. He's a sniper. Evgeny Danault is a sniper as well, so 2 snipers and a two-way forward? I don't know if that's going to work out. It might not have the greatest chemistry, but again, we can change it out with Sammy Blais, so there is some sort of play there. However, there's not a whole lot of centermen available aside from Jumbo Joe, but again, Jumbo Joe is going to be in the same boat as Ilya Kovalchuk. He's not going to want to come to an expansion team. He wants to win a cup. He's 40 years old. He's been in the league since 1912. He needs to win a Stanley Cup. There's no way he's coming to Quebec. Now, unfortunately for us, it's just not a great year for free agents. So we can either wait a year, sign a guy like Nick Bjugstad to come be the third line center, and then we put Mr. Phillip Danault on the second line with Schwartz and Danault, and then we can maybe see if there's a bigger free agent in year number 3. Because don't get me wrong, Derek Stepan's decent. He's good enough. I mean, he had a couple really good years in Arizona and some good years. I mean, he's a solid 50-point guy. I don't know, something about Derek Stepan just doesn't feel quite right. So kind of what I feel in my gut is either go with Tyler Bozak for the third line center or Nick Bjugstad or anyone else. I don't know. Something doesn't feel quite right about having Derek Stepan as your second line center. How are his face-offs? He's got 75 draws. Nick Bjugstad has 77, so that's really not a great argument. We could go Tyler Bozak. He's a veteran presence. He's got a Stanley Cup ring. I think having Tyler Bozak on our third line and then having Phillip Danault as our second line center, I think that would be the way to go. A part of me wants to go with Derek Stepan because he might be the safer option, but I can also go with Tyler Bozak on the third line and get a guy who's a higher overall, Phillip Danault, who has 90 faceoffs. He's kind of suited to be the perfect third line center. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go with Derek Stepan. I talked myself out of it. I've talked myself into it. We're going to give him a 5-year deal at $3 million. I convinced myself, there you go. Come to Quebec, Derek Stepan. We are spending some money. All right, next on the list, we have to get a fourth line center. Now, there's quite a few options out there. Nick Bonino, Brandon Sutter, a couple former Canucks legends. I want a guy who has really good draws, and I want a guy who is still a good NHL player. Cody Eakins, only 79 overall, 78 overall, actually. Travis Zajac, what else we got? I want a guy who's over 80 overall, that's for sure. I think they're all up here now. So what do we got? What do we got for fourth line centers? Nick Bonino, Brandon Sutter doesn't have very good draws. Adam Lowry has 90 face-offs. Okay, he's listed as a third line center, but he's super, super cheap. I can play him on the fourth line. Let's give him a little bit of extra cheddar here. $1.9 million to come be our fourth line center. I like that. There you go. Good to go. Now we need another defenseman. There's our fourth line with Adam Lowry. I really like the 90 draws. He's going to play with Lucas Raymond. Now, do we want to play Nick Patan there, or do we want to go ahead and we want to get someone like, where is he? Someone on the fourth line like Nygaard? Who's this Nygaard guy? Joakim Nygaard. He is a two-way forward. Okay. So instead of Nick Patan, we're going to go with another Maple Leaf, and that is going to be Ilya Mikheyev. 78 overall, but he's 25 years old, so there is a very small chance he can grow. I like this kid. High top 9. If he gets going, he could potentially grow. Adam Lowry with 90 faceoffs, killing penalties, and then Lucas Raymond. All right, so a little bit of skill there, a little bit of grit, and now all we need, we have Schwartz, we have Dadonov, we have Phillip Danault. We need one defenseman and a backup goalie. So I like what Brandon was talking about Alex Edler. I like him a lot. He's a better option than Travis Hamonic or Jonas Brodin. There's not really anything else, so I think I am going to go with Alex Edler. He wants a 2-year deal at 4.9, or obviously we're going to have to overpay a little bit. 34 years old. How about a 1-year deal at $6 million? Alex Edler, come get paid. A nice little early retirement fund for you. $6 million. There you go. Now we need that goalie, and I think we're basically good to go. The team that Brandon Barenfeld built, pretty much. Yeah, this is the steal of the century for Peter Mrazek. 1.7 million. How about 1.9? There you go. All right, now the waiting game. But before we do the waiting game, before we do that, I want to see if there's any young studs out there that's maybe out in free agency. Marcus Phillips, 22 years old. Shout out to Marcus Phillips, sliding in my DMs a little while ago. He's a good dude. What do we got? No real young guys out here, hey? Just a bunch of old guys. Koivu, Kovalchuk, Justin Williams, Patrick Marleau. It's just a retirement home out here. There's really not a whole lot, like 24 years old. Yeah, nothing really out there, unfortunately. Any prospect tendies? Thatcher Demko is a restricted free agent. You gotta lock him up, Vancouver. Eric Comrie, he sometimes grows, but you know what? We're good with Peter Mrazek, and we are good with UC Asaro. So basically, I really like what Brandon Barenfeld said. We basically did everything that he said, but now just comes the waiting game. Are they gonna sign, or are they gonna go elsewhere because we're not in a win now mode? But this team on paper doesn't look that bad. All right, moving on to the fifth here. We should be getting some people signing contracts. Adam Lowry, welcome to the squad. Peter Mrazek, welcome to the squad. Phillip Danault, welcome to the team. And Derek Stepan went elsewhere, even though we offered him more money. Okay, so we might have to go back on our fallback plan with putting Phillip Danault on the second line and then getting Tyler Bozak for the third line. So it didn't all go quite as planned. Jaden Schwartz said yes as well. Mikheyev said yes, and Alex Edler. So we're still out a second line center, but we got some coins still. We still have $20 million bucks. Now again, I could go with Jumbo Joe. Ooh, we're actually still waiting on Danault as well. So if Danault fails, I'm going to go to my backup plan, which is going to be Hoffman. So there's that. So I think what we're going to do is we are going to sign. Looks like he's already gone, unfortunately. All right, so we kind of have a hole on our second/third line. I could just sign a guy like Derek Brassard, but it seems like kind of a waste. Phillip, Nick Bjugstad, Riley Nash, he's listed as a fourth liner. I might have to go with Nick Bjugstad, Michael Grabner, and Hornquist for our third line. That kind of seems like the next best option. I can go with Koivu, but he's 170 years old. I think I'm going to go with Mr. Nick Bjugstad for the third line. So unfortunately, we lose out on Derek Stepan, but you know what? My heart really wasn't with Derek Stepan, so I'm kind of glad he decided to go elsewhere. So we're waiting on two players here. Is he going to sign the big fish, Evgeny Dadonov? Welcome to Quebec, baby. I was extremely happy to accept your offer. Your cash offer was most generous. There you go. Welcome, baby. The Russian, welcome. Welcome to Quebec. Now we're waiting on Nick Bjugstad. Boom. Good to go. That's how you spend $20-something million in free agency. All right, the boys are ready to go, I think. So that was the first time I kind of let you guys build my team through free agency, and basically everyone kind of said what Brandon said. Go after Dadonov, go after Schwartz, go after Phillip Danault. Kind of made sense, so I'm glad that he kind of compiled that all into one giant comment for me, but we're basically good to go right now. It's going to be like the battle for the last defensive spot between Sami Niku and Andreas Borgman, but basically we're good to go. Just for fun, what I'm going to do is I'm going to max out the trade block, see if we get any offers over the course of the off season, just to spice things up a little bit, because this video might be a little bit boring if we're just spending money in free agency. So again, if you don't know how this works, if you put your surplus to the exact same as your wants, you will get a surplus of trade offers. So again, putting the forwards to the exact same as the defense to the goalie, the picks as the exact same. I don't know what it triggers, but it gives basically all the teams, I don't know, like a notice that you're willing to wheel and deal. So they're just going to send you a whole bunch of offers. Michael Furland. Okay, so we lose out on a prospect defenseman. We get a second, but we get Michael Furland. Doesn't really fit on our lineup, so I'm going to say no. Oh, man. Oh, Chicago. When will you learn? Jonathan Toews and Seabrook for Nasty Nas. Imagine I pull the trigger on this trade. Imagine. Nasty Nas in your area? Come on. Illmatic? Stillmatic? No way. So Jaden Schwartz for a first and Kyle Okposo. We also got to throw in Nick Bjugstad. I'm really not looking to make a move, but if there's something that comes our way, ooh, Lucas Raymond, who's this Healy guy? He might have to be, he might have some serious trade value. What is he looking like? He's 52 overall, medium elite, a third round. Boston, hello? Are you even, what? No. I'm really not looking to make a move simply because most of, a first for Jake McCabe, John Moore, and Nick Patan. Oh man, as I say, I'm not looking to make a move. They send me a first for a bunch of players I really don't care about. But that's two pieces on our defensive core going to be gone. And this is a low top four, 19-year-old sick prospect defenseman. Ooh, 19 years old, low top four, almost 70 overall at 19. I like that, but that's going to just decimate my defensive core, so I'm going to say no, unfortunately. I need something coming back. I need some pieces coming back. Definitely not. Patrick Hornquist for Ty Smith. Okay, Ty Smith is a really, really good young defenseman. Medium top four. I've seen him grow. He does get really, really good. He would be awesome with Nasty Nas. Oh, man. Ty Smith, we get another prospect, William Dufour, who's a 6'3" right winger, 18 years old, a fifth rounder in 2020. We got to give up Adam Lowry, which I don't want to do. I'm basically going to take that out of the deal. But Patrick Hornquist. Okay, so Hornquist is too good for the third line. We know that. We know that for sure. I can get rid of the fifth. I need a third liner coming back. We could maybe spice this up here. We could make, oh my god, look at their forward core, holy shit. I'd basically need like a guy like Jesper Bratt, honestly. I know we got him in our Toronto franchise mode, but he would be a better option on our third line. You know what, we might be able to make this work. Hold on here, we're going to have to add a little bit, but if I can get Ty Smith and save a lot of money on my car insurance, shout out to Geico, I can save a lot of money on Patrick Hornquist. We get a sick prospect, 2 sick prospects. I mean, this William Defer guy, he isn't really a make or break it type player. So we can maybe get him out of the deal. But Ty Smith and Jesper Bratt for Patrick Hornquist. They want to get rid of Ty Smith, which I have no idea why. Look at our trade value, though. Things are looking up here in Quebec. Things are on the up and up. What can we offer them? We can give them one of these prospect goalies, 52 overall, medium starter, unsigned. We could throw you in there. Maybe a pick, maybe. I really like Ty Smith and I really like Jesper Bratt. That could be awesome. This might be considered a fleece, but they came at us with this offer. I can throw, let's see, next year's 4th. All right, so you get Patrick Hornquist, Forrest, and a 4th for Jesper Bratt and Ty Smith. Will this trade go through? Trade rejected. Okay, so they don't want... Maybe it's going to be a little bit more difficult. I might have to throw in a 3rd, which I'm not opposed to. It's going to be for 2022. If I throw in a 3rd, does that go through? Trade value's pretty damn even. Trade rejected. Okay, now we have the cap space. So what if I took on $500K of his cap? You give me Jesper Bratt, you get an upgrade for Patrick Hornquist, we get a nice young player there in Ty Smith. Will this go through? Trade rejected. Okay, might have to be a 2nd, maybe. Is that a lot to pay? I mean, we're getting a top 20 pick in Ty Smith. This is probably the most I'm going to pay, and I think you guys can agree this would be the most. I might change Forrest for something else, but a 2nd in Patrick Hornquist for Ty Smith and Jesper Bratt, trade accepted. There you go, baby. A 2nd was a little bit more than I wanted to pay, but when you think about it, we got a guy who was a top 20 pick in the NHL. I'll take that all day, every single day. Now we get offered Martin Kaut, who's a sick prospect for the Colorado Avalanche, but again, we're gonna say no. No. We already fleeced one team. I can't be fleecing all of them. Nick Bjugstad for Jakob Silfverberg. Oh, man, the trades keep coming and the trades keep coming. Yeah, we don't really need Silfverberg because we got rid of Hornquist and we got a nice younger player in Jesper Bratt. So I'm going to say no. There you go. That guy's good to go. Jonathan Dahlin and Justin Braun. So we get a defenseman and Jonathan Dahlin. I think we should do this every offseason. I really like Jonathan Dahlin. I mean, he's 22 years old, 67 overall. I don't know if he's really going to be anything. We'll say no to that. I like these offers. We can get some young studs out there, and oh my god. Okay, a 1st? You want to give me a 1st game? What? What? I mean, I'd take Brett Connolly over Grabner. What is he, 83 overall? Oh, 79. Okay, he's really dropped. Listed as a depth forward, so it's basically a cap dump, but maybe... So what I'm thinking this is Brett Connolly, his morale is really down. So he's a 79 overall. Realistically, he's probably more of like an 81, 82 overall. We can gain a 1st from Florida, and we have to give up Michael Grabner. Now, Grabner played in our top 6 last year, had 38 points. It's okay. It's not terrible, but we can get an additional 1st. Now, Brett Connolly he makes more money, so I get that's a bit of a cap dump, but we have the cap to do it. We should do this. It's only for 2 years, and we can gain a 1st, and no one's really super attached to Michael Grabner. So, you know what, guys? I have to say yes to this. Come on, like, I have to. We get a 1st for Michael Grabner, and I basically just replace him with Brett Connolly, or we can move some things around. So, there you go. Thank you for the 1st. I wasn't looking to make any moves, and boom, we made 2 pretty decent trades. We can get at prospects in a second for Bjugstad. No. All right, it is time to set our captains for year number 2. Right now they have it on Konrad Stastny, Barzal, and Evgeny Dadonov. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this one up to you guys. We haven't officially named a captain. We didn't name one last year. So what we're going to do is we are going to leave it with 3 assistants. However, I'm going to take it off of Evgeny Dadonov and I am going to put it on a defenseman. And I think I'm going to give it to Adam Larsson. So right now we're going to roll with 3 assistants. I want to see your guys' thoughts on the captaincy, if we should name one year number 2. Minor detail we can think about later on. Maybe I'll announce it on the official Quebec Nordiques Twitter, link in the description. Go ahead and give that thing a follow. I always announce trades before the video comes out. There's some special things on there I got in the works. Go ahead and toss the Quebec Nordiques a follow on Twitter. So let's have a look at our lines. I'm nervous for this. It's basically a bunch of free agent castaways thrown onto a team together. Let me go best lines. Let me figure this out and let's see what we're looking at here. Why is Dadonov on the 4th line? What are you doing? Let me figure this out. All right, so I've moved some things around here, and here's how it's looking. Sammy Blais, the Quebec-born kid. We got Konrad Stastny, 6'5", 228, and we also got Matty Barzal, thank you, Long Island. That could be a very, very good first line for us. The second line, Jaden Schwartz, Phillip Danault, and Evgeny Dadonov. Now, if I was to do something like this, it makes both lines a +1, so maybe I'll do that, because Blais is listed as a second liner, so maybe that seems like the better option. Gives both lines a +1. I think that might be better. And we can play Barzal here, put Dadonov on his natural wing, which is right wing. You know, we'll actually do that. And then I decided to move up Lucas Raymond to the 3rd line. It gives this line a +1 with Bjugstad and Jesper Bratt. What a great trade. Thank you, New Jersey. And then that moves Brett Connolly down. Now, Connolly is a little bit better than his 78 overall in Florida. He's now an 80, but he's a good depth guy, good scorer on the 4th line. Adam Lowry, 90 faceoffs, never going to lose a draw. And then Ilya Mikheyev, that's right. He's going to be a good 4th liner for us. He's only 25, so I really like the shape of this team. I like how it's looking. Defensively, now there was supposed to be a little Swedish connection thing going on with Larsson and Alex Edler, but it only gives it a +1. If I move Adam Fox up with Edler, it gives this a +3, so I think I'm going to do that. And Sami Niku eventually beat out Borgman for the last defensive job. Made the team straight out of camp. UC Saros eventually pulled away, now an 84, where Peter Mrazek is an 83. And again, Brandon is right. What a steal, 1.7. We actually paid him 1.9, but he only wanted 1.7. And then we're going to roll with UC Saros as our legitimate starting goalie. So here we are, year number 2. Things are looking good. We spent some money in free agency. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players are brand new. I mean, 7, 8 if you count Lucas Raymond and Brett Connolly, but we spent some money. Things are looking good here. We have Nick Patan and Andreas Borgman scratched. I'll go ahead and either put those guys on waivers or throw them down in the AHL, and we are going to have a look at how they both have to go on waivers. Oh no, they don't. Never mind. No waivers. That's good news. I'll have a look at the American Hockey League and see if it needs any help. Does not look good there, but we go best lines. Things look a little bit better here. Do we have any players? Ryan Kessler, what a time. Defensively, where's Nasty Nas? There he is, 75 overall. We're going to go ahead and give him big boy minutes. There you go. We'll change some things around. We'll put Borgman with you. That's not going to work out. Never mind. We'll go you there. That looks all good to me. Tendies, we got Askarov here, who was the goalie we drafted with our 14th overall pick. The big reason why I didn't go ahead and get a stud goalie in free agency is because we have Askarov. He's in the pipeline, medium elite. He's going to be very, very good for us. So his first year of pro hockey in North America is going to be with the Quebec City Bulldogs. Hopefully he does well. AHL team is not great. It's not super fantastic, but we're slowly building up the prospect pool. All right, so Coach Maurice Belanger. That's right, we actually got a coach. We kind of neglected our coach. We've been doing a lot on the sidelines here. Haven't really had some conversations with our coach, but what does he say? He says, what are your thoughts on Lucas Raymond? What's the plan for this year? What should we do? Should we give him a trial? or do we send him down? Well, I think a 9-game trial is the best route. He's listed as a 4th liner, so let's see. I agree, a 9-game trial is the right option. Boom. Lucas Raymond will play 9 games in the first 15 of the season. Well, he's going to play all of them. We'll see how it pans out. He says, okay, I'll give you to the middle of November to get the games in. I will try my hardest to make this happen. I'll give you my word. Honestly, I'm just going to press A. It's not a big deal. There you go. Morale gained +3. Love to see it. Starting off year number 2, here we go up against the Columbus Blue Jackets in front of our home fans. Here we go, the Poutine Place, it's sold out, baby. Can't get a ticket here for the next 3 years. The best arena in the entire NHL. They're looking for some competitive hockey this year. Let's give it to them. We spent a lot of money in free agency. Let's see, Lucas Raymond making his NHL debut. There's a lot of Raymond jerseys in the crowd, and Jaden Schwartz scores a power play goal on the second shot of the game, scores on Cooper Nash. There you go, off to a good start. Period number 1, and it's 2-1. All right, Conrad Stastny gets another power play goal. Do not take a penalty against this power play. Conrad and Jaden Schwartz both scoring goals. Period number 2. All right, 3-1. Conrad Stastny, he smells blood. Does he smell a hat trick in the 3rd period? Does he smell a hat trick? 3-1. Shots are basically dead even, but we got another power play. We scored 2 power play goals. Not going to make it 3 here. We're pulling away in the shots, closing in on 30. Pull the goalie, Conrad Stastny, empty net. Come on, baby. You know you want to see it. And the game ends at 3-1. So no hat trick for Conrad, but a very nice debut for the boys. Danault, 3 helpers. Stastny with 3 points. And UC Saros, 26 saves. Now I'm going to slow sim the first couple of games here. I want to see when Lucas Raymond is going to score and who it's going to be against. So let's go here up against the Maple Leafs. We know this is a rivalry in the making. Had a couple good games against them last year. We are in the Scotiabank Arena. Austin Matthews versus Conrad Stastny, period number 1. And it's 1-0, and it's Matthew Barzal, another power play goal. Our power play's clicking. Being outshot like crazy, 17-6, but we have the 1-0 lead. Henrik Lundqvist plays for the Maple Leafs now. Okay, period number 2, and it's 2-2. All right, Lucas Raymond, baby, there you go. His first career NHL goal. And how fitting is this? The Swedish-born kid scores against the Swedish legend in Henrik Lundqvist. You can't write that any better. That's unreal. Get that puck. Get Henrik Lundqvist to sign it. I don't know how pumped he would be to sign that puck, but Timashov and William Nylander score for the Toronto Maple Leafs, tying the game at 2, and Johnny T on the power play. But Adam Lowry, 4th liner, baby. Phillip Danault, the Quebec-born kid, he gets his first as a Nordique, and John Tavares ties it up with his second power play goal of the period. Patrick Marleau, he was in free agency. He signs with Toronto. We give up 3 power play goals in the 3rd, 4 goals in total with Mitch Marner, and we absolutely collapse. Not a great first game for Peter Mrazek, but Lucas Raymond did score his first career NHL goal, and it comes against Henrik Lundqvist. That's pretty awesome. Looks like our schedule is pretty light here. We only had to travel to Toronto. We have another home game up against the New York Rangers. Let's go, baby. Messier is in town. Period number 1. 0-0. Period number 2. Oh, 3-0, baby. Conrad freaking Stastny gets his 3rd of the year. 32-12 are the shots. Adam Lowry gets his 2nd. We are in the driver's seat. That's right, baby. 35 shots. We are all over the New York Rangers. Huge penalty kill. That's Adam Lowry winning faceoffs, dumping pucks. Danault gets his first. He scores on a fellow Russian in Georgiev. And then Adam Larson gets another one, the assistant captain from the back end. 42-16 are the shots. Are you kidding me? Adam Fox, the former Ranger. And then Messier ruins the shutout. But what a dominating game. Closing in on 50 shots. Adam Fox scores on his former team. You love to see it. Evgeny Dadonov with 5 points. Look at this first line. Oh my god, this first line, it could be something special. Our first line combines for 12 points. Holy. I mean, Dadonov has 8 points in 3 games, so That's good, right? I'm just going to go ahead and slow sim the first 5 games. Why the hell not? I'm having fun with this. The Winnipeg Jets are 3-0. Adam Lowry, the former Jet, is in the house. We are at the Bell MTS Center, one of the hardest arenas to play in. Let's go, boys. Period. Number 1, coming off a huge win against New York, and we're down by 2 after the first. Patrick Laine, the Finn. The Finn gets 2 on UC Saros. Is UC Saros from Finland? Where is UC Saros from? Is he Swedish? Where are you from, sir? He's from Finland as well, so the Finn scores on the Finn. The more you know. Going in the second. Come on, boys. Have a good second period here. Give me a third-liner goal. Give me a... Actually, you know what? Give me a fourth-liner goal. Give me an Adam Lowry or a Brett Connolly goal. Going in the second. Still down by 2. We've pulled away in the shots just by a little bit. Come on, boys. I need 1 right away. 1 right away. Come on, there you go. Come on, a power play. It's a long power play. We're out shooting them like crazy. We can't beat Connor Hellebuck, unfortunately. Is he going to get the shutout? No, that's the xTech jinx. Come on, shutout, shutout, shutout. And we get shut out. 2 goals in the first, and then nothing happened throughout the last 40 minutes. Kind of a boring hockey game, not going to lie to you. We moved to 2-2, and they moved to 4-0. Now, this is the game I had circled on my calendar because it's Derek Stepan, the guy who didn't want to sign with Quebec. The news is out there. Bluebirds are out in full force. Let's see who's going to get more points tonight. Phillip Danault, our new second-line center, or that stinky Derek Stepan over in Pittsburgh. What does Pittsburgh have to offer? Like Crosby, Malkin? Come on. You got Stastny and Nasty Nas over here in Quebec. Period. Number 1. And okay, they get 1. Actually, they get 2. And of course, Derek Stepan, of course. And then Evgeny Dadonov scores a power play goal. Evgenys are on the board. Evgeny Dadonov, Evgeny Malkin, and Derek. All right, period. Number 2. 3-1, Sidney Crosby. Malkin, Crosby, never heard of him. Derek Stepan, what are you doing going to Pittsburgh? Come on, Phillip Danault. I need a big goal here, buddy. And it's Alex Edler from the point. I'll take it. Alex Edler. And Mikheyev, he scores a big one, but Malkin gets one right back. Mikheyev on the 4th line. I said I wanted a 4th-liner goal, and then Malkin completes the hat trick. The Evgenys are out in full force tonight. The Russians are out in full force tonight. Holy. Mikheyev, Dadonov, and Gino with a hat trick. We get dominated. Phillip Danault, there you go. He scores. And then Derek Stepan just had the 1 goal. There you go. So they're tied up, 1 apiece. I was hoping one of those games would end up going into overtime, but unfortunately nothing happened. We don't get to go into any real-time simulation here, but Dadonov has 9 points in 5 games. Obviously, it's super early, so we can't really judge too much right now, but Barzal, Stastny, that line looks like it's doing some serious business. Aside from that, there isn't really a lot of secondary scoring going on. I'd like for Sammy Blais to get going. Jesper Bratt as well, only 1 assist. I mean, it's still very old. It's still very early, only 5 games in. Nino Niederreiter leading the league in scoring. You love to see it. Tyler Bertuzzi as well with 9 points. Okay. Nazem Kadri, Eric Gretzky, there he is. Fedorov. So the young kids are coming up. Phil Kessel, McDavid. Any rookies out there aside from Lucas Raymond? I don't know. Some guy you might have heard of. Gordy Yzerman. Oh my God. You know what? Let's actually look at their team just for fun. I know St. Louis is already super stacked, so adding Gordy Yzerman to that's just not fair. Oh my God, look at this team. They have Brayden Schenn and Ryan O'Reilly on the 3rd line. What are they doing? Like, these should be just reversed. What the hell? And why is Oscar Sundqvist playing over Barbashev? What are you doing in St. Louis? Okay, what the hell? I'm not going to ask questions. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you thought about the offseason. What are your expectations for this year? On paper, are we a playoff team? I'm going to say yes. I think this has been a very quick kind of just, not really a rebuild, but a very quick turnaround since, since the expansion draft. We did all right there. We made some pretty good trades. We got guys like Matthew Barzal. Obviously, we have, actually, where's Ty Smith? Right, I should probably be playing Ty Smith. Oh, I guess he's still down there in Spokane. I guess, unfortunately, he's still in junior as a 21-year-old? Was he 20? Let's see. Where is he? Ty Smith. Yeah, I guess he's still a junior. Oh, he is only 20 years old, but he should be